Nice to have you with us.
It happened this past Friday. The death of Betty White, the beloved comedian, just 2 weeks shy of her 100th birthday. With Mo Rocca, we look back in laughter.
By the time I got to high school, the kids had made up this really mean nickname for me just because I had hairy legs.
What'd they call you?
Rose with the hairy legs.
As long as there's been TV, Betty White's been on it. As she told Katie Couric,
if you have one good series, you know, it's a blessing. 2 good series is unusual. 3 is, where do you get privileges like that? I taste it every minute.
That's why you're always avoiding me, because you know if you get too close, you're afraid the little pilot light of desire that flickers within you might turn your whole oven on.
beginning in 1973, White portrayed happy homemaker / man-eater Sue Ann Nivens on The Mary Tyler Moore Show.
She was an obvious choice because she's so gifted. She was not an obvious choice because she's antithetical to the character.
James L. Brooks was the show's co-creator.
Oh, my poor baby.
There's a great bit where Sue Ann pulls out a collapsed souffle, and then she closes the oven door with her knee.
I just remembered it as you said it, yeah. She was inventive. I think there was less direction of her than almost anybody. She had it all. I think she could have been a tremendous dramatic actress if she wanted to.
In 1985, Betty White did a 180 and played lovably dim-witted Rose Nyland on The Golden Girls.
I should have said no to the Miss St. Olaf beauty pageant. It was 1951. That was the first year they let humans enter, too.
And in 2010, White co-starred with Wendy Malick in the TV Land series Hot in Cleveland.
Canoga Falls is naming the town square after me.
Wow, that's great.
Oh, did Canoga Falls lose a bet or something?
I turned 60 on Hot in Cleveland when we were working together, and she was on the cusp of her 90th at the time. And I looked at her life and thought, oh my God, there's a whole other act ahead of me.
White's career in television predated television itself. Months before the medium was introduced to the public at the 1939 World's Fair, 17-year-old Betty appeared on an experimental transmission in Los Angeles. Off-screen, White had 2 great passions in her life, including animals of all kinds.
And oftentimes people would come up to her and say, oh, I want to show you a picture of my kids. And she'd say, oh, great. And when they would show them pictures of actual children, she would look so disappointed and say, oh, they're children. She was so hoping for a little lamb.
The great 2-legged love of her life was her husband, password host Alan Ludden. She was a contestant, and he, soon enough, popped the question.
I said no for a year. I wasted a whole year of time we could have had together. I might have been a pretty good game player, but I was a dumb lady.
What were she and Alan Ludden like as a couple?
Tremendously loving towards each other. I mean, they were precious to each other.
Why, Betty White.
Why, Alan Ludden?
Well, it's nice to see you again.
Nice to see you.
When I look on YouTube at the game show, you can just see them, how much they just like each other. They're such
Adored. I think adored is the word.
After Ludden died, White kept on working, hosting Saturday Night Live when she was 88.
Live from New York, it's Saturday night!
Something Wendy Malick credits to her unfailingly positive outlook.
I remember somebody coming up to her once, I don't remember who it was, and said, you know what I hate? And she said, no, and frankly, I don't care to know. And that was pretty much Betty. She didn't want you to dump your dark woes and worries and angst, and she just wasn't interested in that. It's like you can always find something to be happy or grateful about, and she worked very hard at that, and that was her credo.
Why is she so beloved?
Betty was a deeply good person, something of a higher quality about her that I think everybody sensed. We all kidded around and palled around, but we treated her a little differently, I think. There was something special about her.
I'm honored to be able to say a few words about how truly wonderful she was, because sometimes you're asked to do these things and you have to sort of pull out the good parts and leave the rest behind. With Betty, there's no leaving the rest behind. It's all good.
White worried that people were sick of seeing her on TV. She even speculated this for her gravestone.
At last, she's gone. She finally got off.
But even at 99, Betty White left us wanting more.
Rose, it's not that funny.
I know. I think I better keep the lid on this paint thinner.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Marionettes.
No, I don't do that. I don't do that. No, don't touch it. No, I'm not at all. What's your vibe?
Are you?
Are you, in a daytime series?
No. Can you hear me all right?
But you did do a series for quite a few years as the second banana, right?
Oh, that one. No, I didn't. Well, you best known for your work in television. Are you more an actress than, say, a comedian? I don't know. It's up for grabs right now, but then so am I.
You're up for grabs. I'd assume that means socially. Professionally, are you on Broadway now?
Oh, no.
Are you stationed on this coast? 'Cause you ought to know about that.
Oh, no, I'm not.
No, and I tell you, she thinks she's still on the other coast, which is why she's trying to be heard. Take off your mask. She fooled you utterly. This is Betty White.
I thought it was Vivian Vance. You sounded sort of like
You didn't establish whether it was a man or a woman.
Listen, the Pet Set is going to be seen on this coast now.
Oh, it sure is. All over the country. I'm back in business with the Pet Set, and I'm delighted.
What was the concept of the Pet Set when you first started?
Well, the same concept it is now. The celebrity's talking about his or her pet, and then I write the show around their particular interest in animals. There's an animal nut right over there. That Gillette and Arlene is another one. How's your doxy? Good.
How's your dog?
I saw my chimpanzee the other day.
Did you find?
Yes, I found my chimpanzee, and she's okay.
You know, I'm still looking at it.
We'll be back with more right after this message of Special Radio. Don't go away.
I'm the master reptile.